G'day guys. On the 21st of August I published a video called 10 Things I Quit When I Turned 60, and it's had a huge response. It's just over a month since I published it from today, and it's had over 520,000 views, which is just amazing, and 4,000 comments, and it's just blown me away. Anyway, so this video, I want to really dive into the comments. I downloaded all the comments and got some artificial intelligence to work on it to see what trends were in the comments, and there are lots of common trends that people commented on. So this video, I've broken that down and it's amazing. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. If you haven't seen my 10 Things I Quit When I Turned 60 video, I encourage you to have a look at that. But if you haven't seen it, you can just listen to this video and you'll find out about all the comments that people have left on that video. But yeah, coming up to 4,000 comments already. I'm not sure what it's going to be up to when you're watching this, but check it out. Yeah, it had a great response. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Hey there, and welcome to another deep dive. You know how we love digging into the heart of things?
Right.
And for this one, you guys sent over a YouTube video that had a ton of comments. It's called Things I Quit After Turning 60.
Oh, interesting.
And the comment section is overflowing. People from all walks of life are weighing in on what they're leaving behind as they enter this next chapter. So that's what we're diving into today, these real-life experiences and what we can learn from them.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Totally.
It seems like this video really struck a chord, suggesting a lot of us are thinking about these things as we reach this stage in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's more than just thinking. They're taking action.
Yeah.
So what we're really going to unpack is what they're choosing to do with that newfound freedom.
Right.
Let's dive in, shall we?
Let's do it.
One of the biggest themes that jumps out is this need to reclaim time and energy.
Okay.
Like once you hit 60, it's like, hold on a second. I've spent decades pouring myself into work, family, all sorts of commitments. When do I get to prioritize myself?
It's about time affluence, that sense of control over your own time.
Exactly.
Researchers have actually found that this feeling of autonomy over your schedule is directly linked to higher well-being in older adults.
Interesting.
And we see this reflected in so many of the comments, like Julia, who is constantly saying yes to every event and obligation.
Oh, I know the kite.
Or Gary, who felt this constant pressure to be everyone's go-to helper.
Right.
They're breaking free from that overcommitment trap, and it's pretty inspiring to see.
And it makes sense, doesn't it? Think about how precious time becomes as we get older.
It does.
One commenter even compared overcommitting to being robbed.
Wow.
Robbed of precious time and energy. That really resonated with me. It's like they suddenly woke up and realized they'd been giving so much of themselves away.
Exactly. And when that realization hits, you start to see prioritizing yourself not as selfish, but essential.
Right.
It's about setting boundaries and making conscious choices about where you invest your energy.
Speaking of investing in yourself, the next theme centers around health, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
So many people are quitting unhealthy habits.
Yeah, it's huge.
Smoking, excessive drinking, unhealthy, eating the works.
Like a clean slate.
There's John Paul, who quit both smoking and drinking.
Wow.
And now he's on this journey to, in his words, find Jesus.
That's quite a journey.
Talk about a total life makeover.
And it speaks to a larger trend, too. We see time and time again in research how crucial lifestyle choices are to longevity and well-being.
Right.
Especially after 60.
Of course.
John Paul's story is a perfect example of this desire for a better, healthier life.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about living longer, it's about living better.
Right. Right.
Take Gary Builder, for example. He mentioned wanting a high-quality death.
Okay. I know that sounds a little morbid,
Yeah.
but it's actually quite funny and thought-provoking.
It is. It's this idea of quality over quantity, even when it comes to our final act.
Yeah.
Gary's comment highlights the importance of taking care of yourself so you can enjoy those later years to the fullest.
I love that. And speaking of quality, our next theme is all about redefining relationships. This one really stood out to me
Okay.
because so many people talked about letting go of toxic connections,
Yeah, that's a big one.
like finally having the freedom to say, enough is enough.
Researchers call this social pruning, and it's a natural part of aging.
Interesting.
Studies have shown that as we get older, our social circles tend to shrink.
Right.
But this is often by choice, not chance.
Right.
We become more selective about where we invest our social energy.
We saw that with Natalie, who shared that she finds a lot of peace and companionship with animals now.
Makes sense.
And then there's Jekyll, who is done seeking validation from others.
It's a powerful shift, isn't it? Choosing to surround yourself with relationships that are genuinely supportive and uplifting. And one commenter really drove that point home with this thought.
Okay.
You will be forgotten in 3 generations, so nobody will give a feff what you were famous for.
Whoa, talk about a reality check.
Yeah.
It really makes you question, what really matters in the grand scheme of things?
It certainly does. If external validation and legacy become less important, what are we left with? What are the things that truly nourish us and bring meaning to our lives?
And that leads perfectly into our next theme, finding purpose and meaning.
Right.
Because when you step off that rat race treadmill,
Right.
like so many are doing in this next phase of life,
Yeah.
there's this incredible opportunity to fill that space with something you actually care about.
Absolutely. And studies show that having that sense of purpose, especially in later life, significantly impacts overall well-being.
Makes sense.
It's about staying engaged, finding things that excite you, and continuing to learn and grow.
We see that with people like Bingo12331, who
Yeah.
retired at 60 and has never looked back.
Mm.
And actually, they mentioned quitting drinking too,
Oh, really?
which seems to be a recurring theme in these comments.
Yeah.
It's like shedding those old habits to make room for these new passions and pursuits.
It's about realigning your priorities, wouldn't you say?
For sure.
It's not just about what you eliminate from your life, but what you choose to replace it with.
Right.
And often, it's those things you may have put on the back burner for years. Creative endeavors, travel, reconnecting with old friends, or pursuing new interests.
One commenter had this really cool suggestion. They said to think back to what you were passionate about when you were around 13 years old.
I love that.
It's such a great idea, right? Because it was a time when we were less influenced by societal expectations, less worried about what others thought, just pure, unadulterated passion.
It's a powerful exercise in self-discovery.
Yeah.
What were those things that sparked your curiosity and enthusiasm back then? Those passions often hold a clue to what might bring us joy and fulfillment in later life as well.
Okay, get ready for this next one because it might be the most profound of all the themes we've uncovered, embracing change and letting go. Life has a way of throwing curveballs,
Yeah, it does.
especially as we age, and learning to adapt to those changes is so important.
It's about cultivating what psychologists call psychological flexibility, the ability to bend without breaking,
Right.
to navigate challenges with resilience and grace. It's about accepting that life is full of transitions, some joyful, some painful,
Yeah.
and learning to embrace them all as part of the journey.
We hear from a lot of people in these comments who are actively working on this, like Mike. He talked about learning to accept the things he can't change. And then there's this incredibly powerful story from someone who went through open heart surgery. It made them realize that all the material possessions, all the stuff we tend to stress over, pales in comparison to the love and connection we share with others.
Wow.
It puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It's a poignant reminder that often it's those big life events,
Right.
the ones that shake us to our core,
Yeah.
that bring about the most profound shifts in perspective. What we once valued might seem insignificant when we're confronted with our own mortality or the fragility of those we love. It shines a light on what truly matters.
It's a call to focus on what's truly essential, isn't it?
Mhm.
Connection, purpose, love experiences those things that make life rich and meaningful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As we navigate these later chapters, identifying our core values and making choices that align with them becomes more important than ever.
It's so inspiring to see how these commenters are taking ownership of this next chapter, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. And it underscores this important point. Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down or stepping aside.
Right.
It can be a time of incredible growth, exploration, and joy.
It's all about making conscious choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
Deciding what to let go of, what to embrace, and what to create. This deep dive has really gotten me thinking about my own what next list.
Me too. And that actually brings us to our final thought for you to ponder. If you were crafting your own quit list for this stage of your life, what would be on it?
Oh, that's a good one.
What habits, relationships, or commitments no longer serve you? What deserves a see you later to make room for the things that truly matter?
It's a powerful question. And there's no right or wrong answer. It's about tuning in to your own values and aspirations and being honest about what's no longer serving you. And maybe, even more importantly, what would you replace those things with?
That's a great point.
Is it finally time to dust off that old guitar? Learn Italian? Spend more time with loved ones? The possibilities are endless.
That's the beauty of it. This deep dive has given us a glimpse into the lives and choices of others. Now, it's your turn to take the reins and create a fulfilling and meaningful chapter ahead.
Beautifully said. That wraps up our deep dive for today. We hope it sparked some inspiration and got those wheels turning for your own incredible journey ahead.
You've got to be careful of the snakes in the summer. There's lots around here because it's next to the river. There's lots of snakes. So you've always got to watch out for those. Kangaroos just over there watching us carefully, making sure we're not going to get up to any mischief.